Hi guys, it's Emily from Novel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my TBR jar 2025 and yes, I'm keeping going with the TBR jar. I'm finding it really good fun actually because it's the one random I get every month. It's the one random book that I don't plan, I don't decide what I'm going to read. And do you know what, it kind of works for me. Like it kind of actually works to have this random one. I have been careful with what books I put on the TBR jar this year in the fact that there's none that I'm dreading. There's none that don't excite me. They're all books that I really want to read next year. They're not necessarily books that would fit with any of the projects that I have. And that's the key, is to making sure that I don't overly plan. Excuse me. So, I have 13 books. One of them is from the TBR jar from last year. It's kind of the one I'm really excited about. And then the rest, I have 2 classics, 2 fantasy, because I'm counting my middle grade and YA together now. I've done 2 classics, 2 fantasy, I've done a non-fiction, I've done like a mystery kind of spreadery kind of thing. I've done 4, I think it's 3 contemporaries and 3 historical fictions. I've written them all down. They're all down over there. So I will show you all what I've got. They are already papers written up in here, ready for the next video, which I think is my January TBR, which I think is actually going to be my next one. It's not going to be the next one I'm filming, but it's going to be the next one that's going to be out. So, I don't want this video to be too long. I've got loads to do. So the first one is a classic, but it's kind of like a children's classic, and it's The Swiss Family Robinsons by Johann Weiss. I bought it ages ago. I don't really know what it counts on. I don't think it's Victorian. It's a classic. I know that we've heard about it. And it's about the critic William Dean Howells puts his finger on a secret of the Weiss children's classic. So it's a children's classic, I thought so. For it's an adventure story with a decidedly domestic centre in which snugness and safety throughout imbalance the element of danger. Popular from 1912 it was published. That's before Victorian, I believe. And Howell's testimony, it suits paradox. It's a story for children about the Swiss family shipwrecked on an uninhabited island that was inspired by Rousseau's theory of education. It's different because obviously I've got my classics for next year. I didn't really want anything heavy, and this is long, but it's like, it just looks adventuring. It looks fun. It looks like one that if I end up with 2 classics for the month, it's not going to wipe me out. So that's why I picked it. I'm really looking forward to that one. This one could be good. My other one is a classic that I've had on my shelves for ages. I always think I'm going to read it for Victober because it is The Complete Ghost Stories by Charles Dickens. But it's short stories and it doesn't seem to come up in any of the prompts for Victober. Or there's some reason that I don't ever seem to want to get to it. It's short, it's Dickens, it's short stories. So when I get this, it'll be one that will be read. I'll read the short stories on and off throughout the month, so not one straight off the other, because I found with short stories I can't read it that way. So this Complete Ghost Stories has got in it, it's got The Queen's Chair, The Madman's Manuscript, The Goblins Who Stole a Sexton, The Ghost of the Mail, The Baron of Groswick, The Christmas Carol, it's got Christmas Carol in it, A Haunted Man and the Ghost Bargains, To Be Read at Dusk, and Ghost in the Bride's Chamber. I think that's it. Oh no, The Haunted House, which I think Katie read at some point. The Trial for Murder, The Signalman, Christmas Ghost, The Lawyer and the Ghost, 4 Ghost Stories, A Rose Painter's Story, Complete Captain Murderer and the Devil's Bargain, Mr. Tester's Visitation, A Child's Dream of a Star, and a well authenticated wrappings. So I don't know anything about these short stories. Obviously we know Christmas Carol. Muppets Christmas Carol is like my favourite film ever. So it's gothic tales apparently, and some might be grotesque comedy. I have no idea what these are going to be like, but I know it's a pretty copy. It's been on my shelves a very long time, and I thought again it might mix up with the classics that I'm reading. So I'm going to put those 2 back there because they're the classic ones. I need to put them away. Then to a book that I got for my birthday by the lovely, I'm pretty sure it's my birthday, by the lovely Gem from Gemma Books. I've actually got 2 Gemma Books' books. And this is one of my birthday books. And this is, yeah, there's a joke with this because she got it for me for my birthday. And the first time she got my birthday presents, my box for my birthday presents arrived with nothing in them. So she had to resend it. And this is The Bandit Queens by Parani Straub, which went for the Women's Prize the year before last. It was longlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction in 2023, so yeah, last year. And it's kind of like my version of a mystery. I wanted this on my shelf because it's one I'm really excited about. So one that when I get it, I will be really happy. But again, it doesn't fit like thingies, any prompts for any read-ons. So everyone knows about this book. It was, like I said, it was all over BookTube last year. Geeta is believed to have killed her vanished husband, a rumour she hasn't bothered trying to correct, because she has a reputation that can keep a single woman safe in rural India. When she's approached for help in ridding another wife of an abusive drunk of a husband, her reluctant agreement sets in motion a chain of events that will change the lives of all the women in the village. It's a fresh take on a female revenge thriller. So female revenge thriller sounds really good fun. Apparently it's really good for female empowerment. Does sound like a really me book, and I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you, Jen, for getting me that, and it's on the TBR Jar. Now to the next of my fantasies. I'm told you I'm not actually no, I'm going to do my non-fiction one now. My non-fiction one is again, it's not big, it's not scary, it'll fit. This is Casper the Commuting Cat. I think Mia got me this. It's about cats, it's non-fiction, it's short and sweet, and basically with the fact that like Kat from Brews and Reviews helped me choose this because she thought it would be a really good fun non-fiction and not one that's going to upset me when I get to it. So this is the true story of the cat who rode the bus and stole our hearts. I love cat non-fiction books. I love books that's got cats in them. Kind of connects to Alice a bit because me and Alice used to love talking about Pedro. He would always stand in line and never jump the queue. Casper was a national celebrity when the newspapers run the story of the amazing cat that regularly took the number 3 bus on an 11-mile journey around his hometown of Plymouth. While his devoted owner, Susan Findon, often wondered where her elusive pet was disappearing every day, Casper was brightening the lives of countless commuters. But bus drivers too were getting acquainted with Casper's, and he soon became the mascot for the bus company, and the picture of him and Susan adorned the number 3 desk. Oh God, no, this is what's going to kill me. When Casper was suddenly killed by a hit-and-run driver in the early 2010, messages of sympathy flooded from all over the world, and it quickly became clear that Casper and his remarkable story had touched the lives of many people. This may break me because my first cat got killed by a hit-and-run on a road, and that may kill me, but cats, I'm going to try and think positive. Does look good. Just hope that bit doesn't get to me. So the first of my 2 fantasies, and this is my Wonderscape by Jennifer Bell. Apparently it's the start of a series, so if I like this, I will get the rest of the series. It's middle grade, like sci-fi middle grade, I believe. When Arthur, Wren and Cecily investigate a mysterious explosion, they find themselves trapped in the year 2473. Lost in the Wonderscape, in an epic in-reality adventure game, they must call on help of some unlikely historical heroes to play their way at home before time runs out. God, this looks really good fun. I can't wait to get to this. I'm really excited. This is what's different this year, is I've picked books that really excite me. Then to one that I got by the Amazon anonymous person, and that is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Apparently this is a very different Ali Hazelwood book to what her normal books are like, and Kat wasn't sure how much I'm going to like it. But it's got werewolves in it, I think, and it's got like that sort of era. So Misery Lark is the only daughter of the most powerful vampire councilman of the Southern West, and she's an outcast and is an outcast again. Her days living in anonymity amongst the humans are over, and she's been called upon to uphold a historic peacekeeping alliance between the vampires and their mortal enemy, the Wares, and it sees little choice but to surrender herself in exchange again. Wares are ruthless and unpredictable, and Alpha Low Moreland is no exception. He rules his pack with an absolute authority, but not without justice, and unlike the Vampire Council, not without feeling. It's clear by the way he tracks down Misery's every movement that he doesn't trust her, and if only he knew how right he was. And because Misery has her own reasons to agree to this marriage of convenience, reasons that have nothing to do with politics or alliances, and everything to do with the one thing that she's ever cared about. This looks really good. It does look really good, and I hope I do love it. Then to one of my 3 historical fictions. Actually, I need to probably get my historical fictions in order. Yeah, I'll get my historical fictions in order. See, I'm going to be a bit more organised. This next one is Shrines of Gaiety by Kate Atkinson. This is one of her newer books. I have been very hit and miss with Kate Atkinson, but this is one of her more recent books. It's set in 1926 and it's a country still recovering from the Great War, and it's become a focus of a delirious new nightlife. But the clubs of Soho, peers of the realm, rub shoulders with starlets, foreign dignitaries and gangsters, and girls sell dances for a shilling at a time. At the heart of the glittering world is the notorious Nellie Coker, ruthless but ambitious to advance her 6 children. But the success breeds enemies, and Nellie's empire is threatened from without and within. From behind the dazzle of Soho's gaiety, there's a dark underbelly and a world that's become too easy to get lost in. This does look really good. I only got this year, so I am really looking forward to it. Then to a book that I think this was on my wish list. Oh no, I think I found this in a charity shop, but it's by Joanna Hickson. It's a Tudory kind of book, which I love Tudor books. And this is Ravenhead. Joan Guilford has learnt to walk the fine line between the courts of life and finding her own happiness. As a companion and a confidant of the Queen in the Tudor court of Henry VII, her life can never be truly her own. Joan and her husband Sir Richard depend on the royal patronage to thrive in the volatile atmosphere of peerless life. So that's King Henry VIII's mother's story, that sort of era. And when the wheel of fortune turns, Joan faces a stark truth: to be true to her heart and risk everything, or die a dutiful servant and watch her dreams die. Or play the dutiful servant and watch her dreams die. For Joan and for Henry's kingdom, everything is at stake. Does look really good. I'm really looking forward to it. But it is a chunky. My historical fiction ones are chunky. Hope you like this. And then to a slightly random one I put on this list, and this is The Secret Letter by Kerry Barrett. Some things are worth fighting for. So it's got different timelines, which I love. One is in London 1910. 21-year-old Esther Watkins would do anything for the suffragette cause. In prison, force-fed and beaten, she's determined to fight for what she believes is right, no matter what it costs her. With new love Joseph by her side, will she get the better future she dreams about? And then you've got the modern day timeline in Kent in 2019. With her marriage in tatters, schoolteacher Lizzie Armstrong moves to sleepy Elm Heath for a fresh start, and her pupils in the community soon steal her heart. So when the school is threatened by closure, Lizzie knows she has to fight, and she looks to the school's founder for inspiration. What makes Esther, born and bred in London and a proud suffragette, suddenly leave the city and escape to Elm Heath? And when Lizzie discovers Esther's heartbreaking secret, could she be given the strength she needs to save not only the school but her new beginning too? This does look really good. Really does look like a me book. And then to 3 contemporaries. No, yeah, I'm doing that. I have to get myself ordered. They're all a bit different. They're not like my normal contemporaries. And this is What Might Have Been by Holly Miller. 1 little choice, 2 big love stories. So it's kind of like, I think, a sliding door thing almost. For one moment can change everything. For Lucy, it happens right after she walked out of her job, uncertain what the future holds. That same night, she finds herself flirting with a handsome stranger in the bar, and before unexpectedly running into the man who broke her heart 10 years ago. Both men want to see her again, and she needs to decide between them. But what path will she take? So it's kind of like a sliding doors thing. It does look really good. I'm really looking forward to it. Then to another book that Jem got me, American Royals by Catherine McGee, which is kind of like a YA, like contemporary, but it does look really pretty. The Washingtons have been ruling America for 250 years. They're gorgeous, fiercely glamorous, and the beating heart of the most glorious court in the world. But behind the glittering ballrooms and elegant gowns and perfect personas lies forbidden romances and scandalous secrets that could cost them both the throne. The heir is Princess Beatrice, who knows it's her duty to become for the crown becomes above everything else, right? The spare Princess Samantha whose only duty is to party hard. Then you've got the schemer Daphne Dayton, who will do everything to get her back into the royal favour. The nobody is Nina Gonzalez, who unwittingly is about to steal the spotlight. Welcome to the world of the American Royals. This does look really good fun. And then the last contemporary is Arthur and Teddy Are Coming Out by Ryan Lowe. This is a multi-generational, so it's two generations, and they're both men coming out of the closet, or so to speak. And no one in the family is prepared when 79-year-old Arthur Edwards drops a bombshell. He's gay, and after a lifetime in the closet, he's ready to come out. And then you've got Arthur's 21-year-old grandson Teddy has the same secret, but Teddy doesn't feel ready to come out yet, especially when Arthur's announcements causes shockwaves in the family. Can Arthur and Teddy navigate first loves, heartbreak, and finding their place in the community? More importantly, can Can they and their family accept them who they are? This looks really good. Not too long, not going to get stressed by it. Looks like a really, really good book, and I love old protagonists. And then to my book that was on last year's TBR Jar, Once Upon a Broken Heart, which is the first in a series. It's been on my shelves for so long. And Sweet was agreeing with me. It's a fantasy. For as long as she can remember, Evangeline Fox believed in happily ever afters, until she learns that the love of her life is about to marry another, and her dreams are shattered. I think my mum's got the rest of the series, but if I like this, I'll carry on the series. Desperate to stop the wedding and heal her wounded heart, Evangeline strikes a deal with a charismatic but wicked Prince of Hearts. In exchange for his help, he asks for 3 kisses to be given at the time and place of his choosing. But after Evangeline's first promised kiss, she learns that bargaining with an immortal is a dangerous game, and that the Prince of Hearts wants far more from her than she pledged. He has plans for Evangeline, plans that will end in the greatest happily ever after or the most exquisite tragedy. So, those are the books. Which ones of those are you excited for me to get? And which ones do you think are really good? I'd love to know what you think. If you got to the end of this video, leave me a cup or a jar emoji. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribed yet, bring on my ding-a-ling, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.